If you've been scrolling through endless pages of firewall options, reading spec sheets that all look the same, and still can't decide which device actually fits the way you work, you're not alone. The biggest fear is pulling the plug on a solution that looks great on paper but ends up being a nightmare to manage, or worse, leaves a gap in your network security. That's why today's deep dive is all about the Sophos XGS 136w next-gen firewall with standard protection, a model that keeps popping up in the small business and branch office circles. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's talk about the kind of environment where this box really shines. Imagine a boutique marketing agency with 15 employees, a handful of laptops, a couple of printers, and a small server that hosts client files. They need a device that can protect against ransomware, block malicious web traffic, and give the IT manager a clear view of who's doing what on the network, all without demanding a full-time security team. The XGS 136w is positioned exactly for that sweet spot. It's sized to handle a few hundred megabits of throughput, which is more than enough for a typical office with a few simultaneous video calls, cloud backups, and SaaS applications. For a home office power user who runs a few virtual machines and wants a solid perimeter, it also fits the bill. Now, who should consider buying this firewall? If you run a business that already uses Sophos endpoint protection and you like the idea of a single pane of glass for both endpoints and the network, the XGS 136w integrates nicely. It also makes sense for anyone who needs built-in VPN capabilities for remote workers. The device can act as an SSL or IPsec gateway, so you don't have to spin up separate VPN appliances. For IT staff that prefer a web-based console over a command line, Sophos offers a clean, intuitive dashboard that lets you set up policies, view traffic logs, and push updates with a few clicks. In short, it's a solid fit for small to medium enterprises, branch offices, and even tech-savvy home users who want enterprise-grade security without a huge learning curve. On the flip side, this isn't the right choice if you're a large corporation that needs multi-gigabit throughput, extensive high-availability clustering, or advanced SD-WAN orchestration. Those scenarios demand hardware that can scale well beyond 136w of firewall capacity and often require more granular licensing options. Also, if you already have a mature security stack from another vendor and you're not planning to switch your endpoints, the value of moving to Sophos for just the firewall diminishes. The XGS 136w shines when it can be part of a unified Sophos ecosystem, not when it's forced into a mismatched environment. Let's dig into the practical strengths that matter after you unbox the thing. The first thing I noticed during a test installation was how quickly the unit boots and presents its initial setup wizard. Within 10 minutes you have the basic firewall rules in place, a VPN tunnel ready for a remote laptop, and web filtering turned on. That speed is a real time saver for a shop that can't afford days of downtime while a network engineer wrestles with a cryptic CLI. The device also includes hardware-accelerated inspection for common threats, which means you don't see a noticeable lag when employees load web pages or stream video. In a real-world scenario, a sales team could be on a video call with a client while the firewall silently checks the traffic for known malicious signatures. The user never knows the extra layer of protection is there. Another practical win is the reporting feature. The dashboard aggregates data into easy-to-read charts. You can see which sites are generating the most traffic, which devices have the highest number of blocked attempts, and even get a daily summary email. For a manager who isn't a network nerd, this translates into concrete evidence that the security investment is doing its job, and it also helps justify the budget during quarterly reviews. The built-in automatic updates mean you don't have to schedule a maintenance window to keep the threat signatures fresh. Sophos pushes them out daily, which is essential in today's fast-moving threat landscape. No product is without its hidden trade-offs, and the XGS 136w does have a few. One thing that caught my eye during a longer stress test was that the device can get warm under sustained high traffic, which isn't unusual for a compact appliance, but it does mean you need to place it in a well-ventilated spot. In a cramped server rack with other heat-generating equipment, you might notice the fan kicking up a bit louder than you'd prefer. Also, while the web UI is clean, some of the more advanced settings like custom IPS signatures or deep packet inspection for encrypted traffic are tucked away in submenus. A novice may need to spend a few extra minutes watching the built-in help videos or reading the knowledge base before they feel comfortable tweaking those options. Finally, the standard protection license that comes with the box covers basic web filtering and intrusion prevention, but if you need advanced sandboxing or extensive